Hi, it's Dre Griggs with Obsidian Wisdom. On today's Wisdom Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the African proverb, if 10 cents does not go out, it does not bring in $1,000. This proverb, like many other proverbs, are fascinating in the sense that they've been around for a very long time, and some of these concepts are just being explored today. So this would ring true with this African proverb. But also, if you read The Richest Man in Babylon or Pay Yourself First, is a more recent book, it's just the idea that you have to invest in yourself first. If you don't invest in yourself and you just spend all of the money, then you don't have any money available to be able to grow your money. Now, most entrepreneurs and families, they worry about money, so we created the Wisdometric framework to help you eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. So when it comes to investing in yourself first, or in this proverb sense, you really do have to allow the 10 cents to go out to bring back in $1,000. That's really just talking about when we invest our money, when we don't spend our money, but we invest it, then it has the ability to grow. But your money cannot grow if you spend it all. And what I mean is, and this could be a very reasonable lifestyle, but you can spend your money on your mortgage or your kids or your car or the food that you eat, things like that. But the reality is, if 100% of your money goes out in the form of expenses, then you don't have anything to invest in yourself. And so the idea is, whether you read The Richest Man of Babylon, they recommend that you live off of 70% of your income. And I find that that is a great starting place as well. If you live off of 70% of your income, then that gives you 30% to really try to figure out what you're going to do with. If you're somewhat early in the process, then maybe you donate 10% to people in need, maybe your church or charities, or you donate to even your family when they need help. And then you invest the other 20% in yourself. And so when you invest that other 20%, when you pay yourself first, if you pay yourself the same way that you pay your mortgage, well, what are you going to do with your money? Like most businesses, you're going to invest that money into the company. And when you pay yourself first, you are that company. So when you invest your money, what you're doing is you are saying, you know what? Right now, I'm trading time for money. I work a certain number of hours. I get a certain rate per hour. And then as a result, I get a certain amount of money, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, however, whatever frequency you get paid. But when you invest in yourself, then that money can go out and grow you more money. Whether you're investing in a business, whether you're investing in the stock market or real estate, or whether you're just putting it away for that rainy day when something, happens and you're just like, what, I need to take off like 3 months, but you have the money to be able to take off 3 months because you've invested in yourself. And the only way that you can do that is to live off of less than 100% of your income. The number is generally going to start at 70. I mean, you've seen the FIRE movement where they're living off of 50% of their income. Whatever the number works out for you, I do recommend that you try to live off of at least less than let's at least be around like 90%. And so that way you can at least invest the 10%, but generally try to shoot for the 70. Because if you shoot for the 70, then you can invest 10% in yourself. If you have debt, like let's say you're late to starting this, you always have been living at 100% of your income, well, then you have 10% to invest in yourself, 10% to invest in paying off your debt, where you're just paying off other expenses that you've built up over time. And then you still have that 10% that you give to people in need, causes that you believe in, things like that. And when you invest that 10%, when you bring that 10 cents out, you're going to find that it's going to come back, it's going to grow. And we call that compounding interest. If you invest $1 and you get a 10% return, well, then that means that dollar brought back 10 cents with it. And then when you invest the dollar in 10 cents and you get a return, well, then that 10 cents has now brought back a portion of a return as well. And as a result, it continues to compound and it continues to grow. And then the money is going to continue to provide you a lifestyle that does not require you to work because your money is working for you. And that's really all this proverb is talking about. You have to invest the money to allow the money to work. Every time you send your money out, it's almost like you fired one of your employees. If you looked at every single dollar that you have as an employee, then it makes sense where you're like, okay, a portion of this has to go somewhere else, right? I have to pay for different things that, you as your own company, thinking of yourself as a business, that you need, right? Some of you need food, right? Last time I checked, at least. Then there's going to be that we need housing. Again, last time I checked, we need that as well. And transportation, however that works out for you. But if you're able to get all of your needs under 70% of your income, well, now you don't have to pay the rest of that. Now you have essentially a 30% of profits. And then you can decide what you want to do with your profits. You can pay down your old debt. And I recommend that, because getting debt free would be the goal, because more times than not, the return that you're going to get on your money is going to be lower than the investments that you have set up for yourself. And I would recommend that, because the amount of money that you're going to be paying out in your finance charges on a credit card or different expenses is usually going to be much higher than the rate of return that you're going to get on the money that you're investing. So you want all of your money to be working in sync and flowing, but you don't want to just simply say, well, I'm not going to focus on any of my investments, any of my compounding interest. I'm not going to pay myself until after I've paid everybody off, because I don't like the feeling of debt. And I would say, look, I get it. I don't like the feeling of debt either. Then I also love the feeling of my money working for me so that I can choose how I want to spend my time. But at the same time, you didn't build the debt in one day, so you're not going to get out of the debt in one day. So you want to be able to have a couple things working together. And what I mean is, you do want to invest a percentage of your income towards getting rid of debt. But you definitely need to invest a percentage of your income that's devoted to paying yourself. Because again, if you think of it in that sense, you can't say, well, I'm not going to pay myself until I've paid off all of my debt. I mean, obviously you technically could say that. But the problem is, if anything happens, and I do mean really anything happens, then you're going to find yourself having to go back to those same cards that you were paying off because you hadn't paid yourself anything. So you don't have the ability to take any time off from work, that you're constantly having to work for you to trade that time for money. Otherwise, you won't be able to sustain any part of your lifestyle. And so I look at investing in myself, paying myself first, whatever that percentage is, as putting money into my freedom fund. And then the last part that we'll end with is, it does make sense where if you're going to invest in yourself, that you want to be knowledgeable about what you're investing in. And the Richest Man of Babylon talks about that too. That outside of just saying, well, I live on 100% of my income, so all of my money goes out and I don't have anything, and then I have to work again, and then we start that process over again every time I get paid. It's also true that if you invest in something and that investment doesn't work out, then it's the same idea. You have lost one of your employees and they're no longer bringing you money back. So you want to be very mindful about what you're investing your money in, because you want to give your money the best opportunity to grow and bring more money back with it, so that it's able to constantly be compounding to work for you. And so if you have any additional questions about retirement planning, I invite you to check out my free retirement planning that works video training at obsidianwisdom.com/training. In it, I give you the entire wisdometric framework that I use with my clients to help them eradicate financial stress, generate a passive income, and build a prosperous retirement strategy. Until next time, Wisdomites, remember, wisdom is asking the right questions to allow yourself to get the right answers. Keep asking those questions and you will keep getting those answers. Continue blessings.